I'm sure you know about that joke that presidents usually would love to have an economist with only one hand. And you know why? Because most economists are always saying that on the one hand, the economy is very strong. But on the other hand, some data suggest that it's not so strong. Well, the first 2 months of 2023 have been anything but boring when it comes to the current economic and market narrative. In fact, we've already had 3 narrative changes in 2023. In January, the consensus was that a recession was an inevitable conclusion. But by mid to late January, economists forecast a soft landing. That became the primary storyline following cooler inflation and wage prints. The soft landing was a possibility that was highlighted by most economists. Fast forward to today, and many people believe that the Fed is behind the curve given the strengthening of the economy and the resilience of inflation. The improvement in economic activity has been robust and broad-based. When looking at the labor markets, we've seen an acceleration of payroll creation, a firmness of initial jobless claims, job openings are back on the rise. Housing, which is the most interest rate sensitive area of the US economy, is now showing some signs of life and starting to get stronger recently. And lastly, manufacturing, which has been in the doldrums recently, is showing signs of stabilization. At the same time as that renewed economic momentum, many investors have adopted the view that a soft landing ultimately will materialize. Okay, so soft landing, here we go. In fact, when looking at Google search trends for the US, the term soft landing has now jumped to a 15-year high. You know what? Search activity was last seen at these levels in May of 2008 for a few months, prior to the Lehman Brothers bankruptcy and the official beginning of the credit crunch known as the global financial crisis. Well, I know that today's backdrop is very different, but this should serve as a reminder, however, that we may see many wrong signs and some people might be over-optimistic because we still don't know whether the US economy will move towards through a possible recessionary period. Huh? What? So exit the soft landing? Well, some economists believe that a US recession is in the card later this year, despite recent economic good news and strong momentum. One of the reasons they believe a recession is more likely than a soft landing is given the nature of economic data that's been improving. Most of the data is lagging or coincident, meaning it can tell us where we've been or where we are right now, but not necessarily where we're going to be in the next couple of months. Take payrolls, for example. Payrolls are a great coincident indicator that's useful in telling us what's happening in real time. However, payroll demonstrate non-linearity in recessions. I mean, as recession comes, payroll tends to collapse very quickly. As a result, those healthy payrolls reading that we are seeing today don't necessarily tell us what's going to happen 3 or 6 months in the future. Got it? All of that suggests that investors should curb their enthusiasm about what a healthy labor market means in the terms of the economic outlook for 2023. Now, by contrast, many leading indicators are looking far more precarious at the moment. When looking at the Conference Board's leading economic indicator index, we've seen a monthly decline, which is clearly showing we are close to recessionary danger zone of 4 monthly declines. Other leading indicators are suggesting that even though we're seeing some economic strength here, we should be very cautious in reading what that means for later in 2023. Now, another reason why some people believe that we could be in for a deeper recession than what consensus is anticipating is the Fed's reaction function is changed this cycle compared to cycles in the past. When looking at the unemployment rate, the Fed is expecting the unemployment rate to rise from 3.5% currently to 4.6% at the end of 2023. And this is notable because it violates the rule which states that when the unemployment rises by 0.5% or more, recession always materializes. Put differently, when it comes to labor market, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. The Fed usually has little tolerance for job loss. But that is not the case today, given higher inflation prints. When the desire to bring inflation back down to its 2% target on a sustainable basis, remember, that is the target, 2%. Usually, as the economy is transitioning from job creation to job loss, the US economy generally loses 800,000 jobs. Now, given that the Fed is projecting for the rise of unemployment rate this year, that would translate to over 2 million job losses in the US economy. Yep, that's 2 million job losses. And that in an environment where the Fed is continuing to actively hike. Put differently, the Fed is going to have a delayed reaction function in providing liquidity to the economy, and that is going to amplify recession risks as we look out on the horizon. Now, given this environment, some economists believe that this is going to be a rough year for US equities, with financial markets discounting less of a recession over the last few months. Economists believe that there's a tactical opportunity emerging for high-quality dividend growers. The 2023 rally has largely been led by last year's laggards, with investors buying the most beaten down areas of the market given the improvement of the economic outlook that we're experiencing. At the same time, the improvement in the economy has created a bid for more cyclical areas of the market at the expense of more defensive and quality areas as well. Okay? So, what is the future for the US economy? A soft landing or a hard recession? Unfortunately, economists still have two hands. Oh, by the way, I'm on a mission to make 100 employees love their new job. And that's one at a time, and it's not mass produced. So, do you want to be one of them? If you want to be one of them, do this. Like this video and comment. Ring my bell on my profile. Connect and DM me or text me at 424-386-0236 and ask me what I can do for you. And I see you on the next video or on the next phone call. Bye-bye.